Okay. There you go. Yeah, you're okay.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to the council meeting, July 13th, 2026. We all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, we got a few speakers tonight. Start with Annie O'Connell.
Oh, that's Ann.
Ann?
Yeah.
Apologies.
No worries.
Okay, Mayor, City Council, my name is Ann O'Connell. All right, and I am here tonight regarding a concern I have about the memorial by the community center that honors fallen soldiers in various conflicts and wars. Last summer, I had the privilege of visiting the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C. I came across the name of William Lyle Bauer on panel 7E, line 15. William Lyle Bauer, a U.S. Marine, became a casualty in the Vietnam War in Quang Nam Province on May 1st, 1966. His home of record is Creswell, Oregon. Unfortunately, the Creswell War Memorial does not have this soldier's remembrance inscribed on it. I realize that the city of Creswell does not have jurisdiction over this site. My understanding is that this is under the purview of the Creswell VFW. What I am asking the city council and the mayor is to apply a little nudge on the VFW to appropriately recognize this young man as a true American hero by facilitating an inscribed affirmation on the memorial to reflect his service to our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. It's very important that we honor those, so thank you for bringing that to us, and I'm sure we can definitely do some nudging and cross our fingers.
Thank you.
But I think there's something I can also do too, and we can have a day to honor Creswell's own war heroes too. So
Definitely.
it's been on my mind. I know I've talked to Monica and I've talked to Debbie about it and trying to get their advice and their help with the museum. So things we can do for sure to at least make sure if we don't have a name that we honor those who grew up here or came from here for sure. So thank you. Monica, would you like to come up? You're next.
I'm next. Okay, my name is Monica Knight, and I live in Creswell at 43 North 3rd Street. And I'm here tonight I want to thank you for allowing me to speak my opinion, but I'm here because as a citizen of Creswell, I'm very disappointed in the facade grant awardees. I'm happy for the ones that got it, but I was told there were 13 people, including the museum, who applied for the grants, and 7 people got the grants. But one applicant that wasn't selected was the Creswell Grange. And I'm speaking, they are a community service organization, and I don't know if everybody knows, but they're a real asset to Creswell. They do so many things. And they applied for grant money in hopes of being able to complete one of 4 projects that the building is in need of. And the projects range from $1,200 to $5,000. And since the building is a prominent feature on Main Street, completing even one of the projects would have benefited the Grange, but it would have made Main Street more attractive. And I would like to take a minute to explain why I feel the way I do. Since we no longer have a local paper who prints various stories of Creswell, many things go unnoticed. And as a longtime resident of Creswell, I was naive to the activities of the Creswell Grange before I joined. And I've only been a member less than 2 years, so I'm still learning. But I do not think the majority of Creswell residents realize what an asset the Creswell Grange is to our entire community, not just members. Throughout the year, the Creswell Grange conducts events for not only members, but also the residents of Creswell. No membership is required to attend or participate in many of these. The Grange offers many free events, but still have the expenses of paying for supplies and utilities, in addition to members giving many volunteer hours. So here's some examples of the things that the Grange does throughout the year. And they don't ask for help, they just do it. First of all, they make and send Valentine cards to local veterans hospitals each year. They sell concessions at the bingo games, and all the proceeds go to books for the Creswell students. The members make and deliver gift baskets or bags to Meals on Wheels recipients at Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. The volunteers sit in all kinds of weather in front of the Buy Mart to collect cash and food donations for the local food bank. The Grange had a garage sale recently, and all the proceeds were given to the K-9 unit for the Lane County Sheriffs. They decorate and hand out candy and candy canes at both Halloween and Christmas to visiting kids. There's a free yearly ice cream social for anyone wanting to attend. In December, the Grange offers a free community dinner with all the trimmings. An event that takes days to prepare for is the September Lane County Stand Down event at the fairgrounds. And tables are lined with donated toiletries, shoes, clothing, and toys for any veteran in need that the Grange members have collected, sorted, and displayed. As you can see from the partial list of things the Creswell Grange does throughout the year, they, in my opinion, were an undeniable qualified candidate for the facade grant money. I'd like to make a point at this time that with anybody that received a grant, the city only paid half of the money. So if you had a project for $2,000, whoever was applying for the grant, they had to pay $1,000 and the city paid $1,000. So the lowest project for the Grange was only $1,200, so that would have only been $600 out of the $30,000 that was available to everybody. So I really feel like that could have been taken care of for the Grange. And maybe it can't be, and nothing can be done now, but maybe in the future people will realize what an asset the Grange is and consider them. So, thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Appreciate the passion.
Ask a question.
Go ahead, Councilor Holt.
I think this is for you, Vincent. Is that, are those grants that were awarded, is that public record? Is that information I can get?
Once the grant contracts are signed, we're still going back and forth.
And who made the decision for the grant?
It was an individual grant committee made up of 3 people that awarded that.
Okay. Did we approve a grant committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, when you say we, staff did, council did not.
Is that are there any rules that stipulate that committee should have been ran through council and made up of like certain members of our community?
It was made up of members of the community. It wasn't staff. It was members at large, and I don't think anything within the grant requirements had it other than an administrative function.
Is it common for us to create committees without the approval of council in Creswell?
So I wouldn't call this a committee per se. This was a task force of review for the grant, which is in line with the grant.
Okay.
It wasn't necessarily assigned to any policies or budget that otherwise would fall under council's purview.
Okay.
Good. All right. With that being said, we'll move on to the mayor's report. And I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July and 250th birthday of America and 250 years of freedom. I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce and all the hard work they did Kelly and Mandy and the board, they put on a heck of a show and with the parade and I know the fireworks, there were some hiccups, but it's quite the show for 15 minutes and I think it's supposed to go longer, but there were some malfunctions that happened and I think some of the citizens should know that there was a few malfunctions and the safety officer would not allow them to continue, even though he could have fixed it and continued. So there was a few minor details that happened that not everybody knows about. So when they are frustrated or don't think it was that great, it was intended to be amazing and there were some small snafus. So I want to appreciate the Chamber of Commerce and all our hard work because that is a lot to put on a heck of a day. All the volunteers, the board members. I thought it was an amazing day for Creswell. We had a lot of people here. I think we doubled or tripled in size, almost tripled. And hopefully in the sheriff's report, we didn't have any issues. We'll wait for that to come. I want to thank the Chamber and everyone who made the 250th birthday amazing in Creswell and another kick butt type of year. So thanks Kelly and Mandy and the board, the Chamber, and everything else. The Hell and Hooves tour was great. So thank you for Creswell for coming out and showing out and just, there was nothing but America that day, so it was pretty rad. Correspondence, I don't think we had any, so we'll move on. And then consent calendar, all items listed are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion unless pulled for corrections. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Anybody have anything need to be corrected or pulled? Okay, I'm entertaining a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Councilor Kent?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Excellent. Do I have a second? Councilor Castillo seconds it. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. All right, move on to the administrative report. Take it away, City Manager, Mr. Marrell.
Thank you. So first topic in your report, as usual, is the finance and expenditures report. Staff will answer any questions that you may have. Councilor Ken?
Yes, one that is new to me, or at least I've never noticed before, the painter.
Which line item?
It's on, let's see, check number 36709 on page 20 of the PDF, if you got that open. And it's PAYNTER. So it sounds like a check cutting company maybe, or painting the windows or something, I don't know. But I don't want to assume.
Yes.
The window painter?
That is the window painter. You see her paintings all over town here. But those were the ones on the front of City Hall this year.
Thank you.
We used her too, so she is real. It's authentic. Anyone else? All right, I got one. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a good one too. Page 20, text my gov. I know what it is,
Yes.
but I'd like to understand, is that for the year? Is that for the quarter? Who answers the text? Does it work? I want the whole kit and caboodle.
We'll start with the finance piece.
Yeah, let's hit that
Okay,
one first.
yeah, that is for the whole year.
Okay.
It does include the cell phone plan and all the text messages that are included in that plan.
Are we getting a lot of text?
We do.
Really?
We do, and sometimes they come back with, there's no response for that because it's not built in our database.
Okay.
And we'll get a notice from that in the email, and then we can build off of that. Like, okay, people are interested about this, so we need to make a response for this.
Okay, and who do the responses come to? So when somebody texts, does it go to you or Vincent or?
I don't,
No, it comes to me from the tech side,
Okay.
and also our receptionist receives them.
Okay, so Heather gets them too?
Yeah, I think Heather does a lot of the back-end maintenance of
Okay.
that. It helps her out in the long run.
And they've been answered and
Yes.
has there been like thank you texts at all?
I'm not sure about that. I've seen this thank you, but it does lead them to like web links. If like they want to apply for a building permit, it'll send them a link to our page to get to that building permit.
Okay.
We also push out emergency alerts like, hey, this road's going to be closed.
Tried
Because
out
of
on D
construction.
Street with the sewer line, so that worked?
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Logistically, are we getting a lot of traffic on that?
Yeah, we can pull up the data on it if you want that.
I wouldn't mind maybe next time, just to see the 2350 to validate that it's worth it. I mean, I understand it makes sense, and it did work on when the sewer main blew, so. Well, that was my question.
Excellent.
This is questions. Anyone else? They're still yours?
No, but I'm wondering, can
Councilor Hope?
we bring that information to our next work session?
I can get it, yeah.
Quick report.
Yeah, just a little quick report, just get it done.
Maybe just how many, in the last quarter or something, or the last year, you sent something, and how many responses maybe?
So are you thinking the July 27th work session, or can you pull it together
Oh,
real quick?
I don't care, I just thought if it was something simple, I would suggest that, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe this is the data dump. It's like a table on the back end.
Yeah, that's what I would, yes, that's why I was thinking in those terms, sorry.
She's an analytical one, so. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, then Vincent, you can move forward, sir.
I will ask for the Lane County Sheriff's Report. And Alex to come up, please.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
June was super busy. Our calls for service were right around what we're normally at, but we had a lot of very, very busy things, some pretty big cases, but we'll get to that in a second. As you can see, we're right about where we're steady at. We're going into summer. Summer's always a little more busy for us. We get more people that are out and about, more people maybe doing silly things, staying up later on weekends or whatever. So you will see more of an influx of calls generally when we go into summer. There's a couple, I guess, highlights I want to hit. 4th of July was very busy for us. There was a lot of people. This is the first year that I've been down here where I've had every single one of us working and then some. I had a couple reserves come down to help out. So at one point there was 7 deputies in Creswell, which is a lot. The parade seemed to go pretty well from our standpoint. We did receive a handful of illegal fireworks calls. I know that there was a lot of illegal fireworks going off, but the 4th of July was very, very busy for my deputies that were working, and I'm super glad that we were able to, staff extra because they were super busy the whole time. Not dealing with fireworks, but dealing with stuff like disputes and DUIs and stuff like that. So it was a very busy day, but it overall went pretty well. You'll see the Measure 11, that is correct. We have 1 call with 2 case numbers. And what that was is it was a present crime and a historical crime that was disclosed at the same time. So that's how we had the 1 call, but 2 case numbers were pulled from it. You'll see that I included in the packet this time a Facebook post just to kind of give a general idea of one of the big major crimes that we investigated. That was a Creswell deputy that did the majority of the investigation on that, with the assistance of a detective for some of the more technical stuff. And both of those subjects are still sitting in jail and will likely be facing significant prison sentences. I don't anticipate them being released anytime soon. And one of them may even spend the rest of their life in prison. So, pretty significant crime, historical crime that was reported. The actual crime occurred, almost 10 years ago. But it's still very significant, very important. Not included in the packet, because this is something that kind of came out recently, is we had another very similar crime investigated by a Creswell deputy within the last couple of weeks, where we made an arrest, and this person is being held on, I think the final count was 19 Measure 11 sex crimes to a disabled family member. So pretty significant, and I normally don't like to get into the details about these because it's gross and it's no one wants to hear it. But I think it's important. These 2 cases, my team worked as a team and worked really well on this, and we're going out and getting justice for honestly the most vulnerable people of our population. So I'm very proud, is I guess kind of gross as it is, I'm very proud to brag about this because these are the types of things that people need to be put away for, so.
Thank you for stopping it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we live for, honestly, is these types of things. So other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions. It's pretty much been business as usual for the sheriff's office.
Creswell?
A couple months back, we had that poor old lady that got attacked on Creswell Drive.
Yes.
And the last time I asked about it, you said that the perpetrator was in jail and would be for a long time. However, I've heard since then that perpetrator is not in jail and won't be for a long time. So I'm curious if there are any protections in place for old lady on Crestwood Drive.
Yeah, that's super frustrating. That case is super frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I was hopeful and under the impression that that's what would happen. And I'm not trying to drive the bus over anybody, but apparently a plea deal came out where that was not what was going to happen. I don't know why they decided to do that. I don't know if there was some sort of... I don't know if there was some sort of issue with the case as a whole, or if they, recognize that this person needs some sort of help, or I honestly don't know. I still don't understand. It's very frustrating for us sometimes when we put together cases, make arrests, and then down the road, it doesn't turn out how we hoped. I guess the silver lining here is the woman who was arrested for that. She was convicted of, some felonies. She is not in our area anymore, to my knowledge. I don't know where, but usually I have a pretty good pulse of where people end up, especially when they're involved in kind of the criminal side of things. And nobody knows where she is that is at least in our local group. And so my hope is the silver lining, maybe they shipped her off to some rehab center and she's getting help that she needs. Or maybe she's living with a family member somewhere else in the state. I don't know. I know she's not local right now. And I mean, it's a smaller win, but it's a win.
It's a smaller win, thank you.
So.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councilor Steele?
With your crazy month, I'm not going to mention the one citation. You managed to get one in. That's great. That's awesome. But I did have a question about the last couple of weeks. I've had a couple of conversations with a problematic house off of Morse, particularly 469 Morse. I'm sure you're familiar with that house.
I've been there a time or two.
Yeah, and I'm curious. Has activity ramped up as what I am being told here lately?
Honestly, yeah. It's I think that it kind of comes in waves, and we see this kind of like roller coaster effect where sometimes they're not as busy, sometimes they're more busy, and it just kind of depends on the season. I mean, I'm confident saying that is one of our biggest problems. And
I have no doubt that if you could take care of that, you would. But is there some sort of plan or something to give those folks some peace and make them feel safe over there?
Yeah, we try to put as much pressure as we can on the known trouble spots. We try to address issues as they arise. We've looked at doing some outside the box things. Code enforcement's been heavily involved with that property. We've done some building inspection stuff in the past. We're trying to find some, remedy. It's a very complex situation. Without getting too detailed about the homeowner, it's very complex with how she's there and how that property functions. It's frustrating. It's not as simple as some of the other, issues we've had to deal with other problem houses throughout the county, at least in my experience, because there is some people there that are maybe not involved in the criminal activity that hold the ability to have that property. So it's very frustrating, and it seems like anytime we make any type of headway with especially that property, it gets erased by, more people come. A couple years ago, we had pretty much the whole group that was living there was evicted and gone. And then a new group moved in, and now it's fighting the same battle over and over.
It's very frustrating for
Very frustrating.
the neighbors in that.
Yes, and I've spoken to the neighbors and I've said, I'm sorry, if it were my neighbor, I'd be just as mad as you, and I don't know what the long-term solution's gonna be. All I know is that we can keep putting on whatever pressure we can until something's gonna give, so,
So, thank you, sir.
yeah.
Creswell?
I get to deal with this because it affects my neighborhood too. And it has gotten really bad,
Yeah.
particularly over the last couple months. I think what I have a hard time reconciling is that we know they're stealing, but they're still out there stealing. Why is that? What? And I mean, be as blunt or as not, I mean, like, if you can't tell me the exact
Sure.
reasons, but why is it that people are getting away with stealing all the time? I mean, why would they stop if they don't have to?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I think the best way that I can answer it is, let's say you have a bicycle sitting on your front porch, someone steals it off your front porch. That bicycle ends up in the driveway of a specific house. I have to determine who stole the bicycle. Yeah, it's a stolen bicycle, but who do I hold accountable? Who can I say, without a doubt, this is the person that took it? And so I have to be able to do that to be able to move forward. So it's super frustrating. I've had conversations with people when I've told them, if stuff goes missing, there's only a couple places that I start at, right? I look at a couple different places to find things to start, right? But I have to be able to determine who actually stole it, not just how it showed up here. If somebody says, hey, that's my bike, well, no, it's not. Okay, that's easy, right? But most of the time we are met with, I have no idea what you're talking about. There's no video footage. There's no way I can determine. And it becomes a lot harder when you have a group that lives together that any one of them very well could be responsible versus maybe you have one person who is not great, and it's a lot easier to say this is probably the person. It's very frustrating, and it's frustrating for the community.
It is, and you get in this situation where, like, I see them walking back and forth with what I think is probably loot all the time, but I don't know that,
Yeah.
and if I take a picture and call you guys, am I just gonna, am I making an assumption I shouldn't? I don't want to be that person either, but it is frustrating. I just, and when they do get caught, it sounds like we have a bit of a revolving door, at Lane County in general, not the sheriffs,
No.
you know what I'm saying?
I do.
And so there's no consequences for this type of crime, so why stop? That's kind of,
Yeah.
And is there anything that the city of Creswell could do? Like, we're a home rule city, could we do our own ordinance that tightens up some of these laws and makes it harder for criminals?
Put up game trail cameras and just say, hey, you're being filmed possibly.
That's what I was.
And the neighbors can get together and get some GoPros facing their direction.
And I've got, I guess, a couple part answer. First, if there's suspicious activity going on, call us. It doesn't matter when. In the middle of the night, even if you think it's nothing, or even if it's something super small, call us if there's a deputy on and the deputy's available to patrol. My guys want to work. They want to stop this stuff. They want to be involved. And if we need to go contact people as they're walking around, we'll go contact people and gladly ask them, hey, where'd you get this lawnmower, or where'd you get this, right? That's what our job is. And so please call us anytime. Even during, the late hours, right? We might still be
that's
working.
usually when it happens.
Yeah, and we might have somebody that's available to do that. As I mentioned before, we are staggering our shifts. We do try to stagger our shifts. We have some recurring problems that are happening in off hours that we're trying to stop. And so it's not uncommon for a deputy to be working different hours than his normal hours right now. Second, I guess, part to my answer. Yes, the municipal court does have the power to put laws in place. The municipal court, the city does not pay for jail beds. So
The revolving door.
So unless the city was willing to pay for jail beds, even putting a municipal code in place would make no difference because we can't lodge somebody.
The old
On the
jail's still
Now,
upstairs.
with that said, pretty much anything that's gonna be a crime in a municipal court, there's a circuit court charge for, and that's what we lodge people under. When we arrest somebody in Creswell, they go under the circuit court. and they're held in the Lane County Jail for that. I mean, like I said, I don't want to drive the bus over anybody, but it's very frustrating.
Drive the bus.
It's very frustrating.
Two-thirds.
And I understand some of the decisions made by the court decision makers and the prosecutors. I understand some of it I don't. And I probably never will, because I'm not a prosecutor.
I mean, the fact is that they probably don't live in neighborhoods where they have to deal with this, so, and so for them, it's no big deal, right? And that's just my opinion, obviously.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, though, I appreciate the hard work that you do. You came really quick when I called, so, yeah. But it is scary, and I particularly am concerned about the old lady down the road and the fear that she must feel every day knowing that girl is out there. Now, will that girl, target her? I don't know, but I can't imagine what that feels like. And so it's unfortunate, but I'm glad to hear that she's at least not in our area right now.
Anyone else? Last month, we had a dog attack issue with a woman, or is that the same one that you're speaking to? It was a woman and her daughter, and it was a neighbor's dog. Has that been, I know I got an email on it, I CC'd you and asked some questions. Has anything gone further with that?
The municipal court had a trial for that,
Okay.
and it was resolved through the trial.
Okay.
There's going to be some ongoing requirements for the dog owner that we have every intention of making sure he's following as we can.
Good.
The municipal court ruled, found him guilty of the offenses, and so he's going to have a significant amount of restitution and fines that he has to pay.
So it does work once in a while. They get bored. All right. Anybody else? Well, thank you for getting everybody down here for the 4th. I know you guys are working on a holiday, and it is a wonderful holiday, and especially for you guys wearing badges, so I appreciate you coming down, and I enjoyed all the fireworks. You could see them from everywhere.
Did you guys like the Pterodyne? That's the big armored vehicle I'm driving.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, if you can bring that down more often. The
Yeah, okay.
kids would like to play with that one.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Alex.
you, Sergeant.
Okay. Next up is the city attorney report. The report is included in your packet, and for June, there was a total of 13 hours of attorney time billed. Any questions? Okay.
Councilor Holt?
I'm just curious, what kind of questions if I'm privy to know this, what kind of questions you asked him about related to public participating in city meetings? That's kind of a weird one to see on the line item.
Well, the context of it wasn't weird. The context of it was with regard to decorum during a meeting and people speaking at the podium mimicking what the council is trying to do for the planning commission. And the council entertains questions during work sessions, which is not typical for work sessions. The reason the council does it is because it's built into the council rules. So the question really was becoming, it's the council rules, do those umbrella out to a commission or not?
Oh, okay.
Or can the planning commission, if they wanted to, set up a work session public comment different than the council? That was the public participation question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Next up, code enforcement report. Not seeing any questions. The final is the building permit recap. All right. And that seamlessly concludes the administrative report there.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll move on to council action items. We'll move to 6A. City Manager Martorello, come on down.
Okay, and I might tag team this one with Alonzo. This is a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign the contract for city attorney services. The contract is pretty much the same it has been for each year, with the exception of the performance evaluation piece was amended by the committee. And this really allows the council to have more interaction during the year with the attorney, either through appearance at a council meeting or a work session, rather than the attorney just coming in for the evaluation at the end of the year. That was circulated amongst the committee. There was agreement to that. The authorization to do that, Mayor, came out from you with your amended charge several months ago. So all of this to lead up to the contract for the city attorney. We've received 2 respondents to the RFP. Local law group, government law group was the preferred candidate. The other firm did not have an office within Oregon, nor did they seem to be proposing to have an office in Oregon for this contract. So it really, the review committee thought we would get better service and attention, and the history of the government law group proved to be beneficial to the city. And we have had conversations with them about assigning other attorneys for different needs of the city, and that's built into the contract as well.
All right. Well, then I'll entertain a motion on page 36. Councilor Morris.
I move that the city council authorizes the mayor to the contract with local government law group for an initial 3-year term. Thereafter, it may be extended for an additional 2-year terms upon written consent of both parties.
Do I have a second? Councilor Kramer seconds it. Any further discussion on the topic? All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. All right, 6B.
Also in your packet is a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign a settlement agreement with Meadowbrook LLC. We've been in mediation and negotiation. The settlement agreement is still being negotiated until it is signed by both parties. It's still in negotiation. So this authorizes the mayor to go ahead and sign that as part of that negotiation conclusion.
Okay. Entertaining a motion.
Wait. I'm sorry, let me just double check this here. I think there is a discrepancy between the suggested motion and the resolution down below, and I just want to make sure we get the exact right thing. And I just noticed that now. Didn't catch it earlier, sorry. One ends in 616064, and the other one is 61604.
Good catch.
Somebody had us Wheaties this morning. 61064.
It's right here.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
Okay, so can we amend that
Yes.
and then accept a motion with a proper amendment?
You can, it could be the same motion without even referring to the case number.
Okay.
We have the Meadowbrook litigation, we know that.
Okay.
So it could be a motion without reference to the case number.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion. Then
Go ahead.
page 38. Full discussion. Councilor Castillo?
I move that the city council authorizes the mayor to sign the settlement agreement with Meadowbrook LLC regarding litigation case number 24CV616064.
Have a second? Councilor Morris seconds it. Any further discussion? Councilor Holt?
Can we confirm what the correct case number is really quick so we can amend that if needed?
Yeah, the city recorder will do that.
We're going to have to amend the motion now, though. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Sorry, misunderstood.
While she's doing that, can I ask her a question?
Yes, please.
So you said that it's still ongoing? I thought we were done with the negotiating.
Until it's signed by both parties, it's
Considered
it's legally
ongoing?
technically ongoing. Yes.
But nothing's going to change.
Nothing is expected to change. Both parties are satisfied with what happened, but until it's signed,
Okay.
it's
Considered.
considered.
Okay.
Yes.
Councilor Holt?
When is the signing?
Well, we'll be this week, and then we expect the other party within a week.
Anyone else? Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Wait.
She done? Okay.
Do you want me just to read the number?
Yes, please.
So it's case number 24CV61064.
I need to amend.
And then,
Two,
or it took a second.
say that again, 2,
It's the very top one.
61064.
Yeah, correct.
that's the one I read, isn't it?
No.
No.
On the suggested
You read the bottom
motion?
one.
The suggested motion was
Yeah.
to be
Yes, and that-
24 CV 616064.
Yes, and that had my typo in it, an additional 6.
Yeah, there's an extra 6.
Okay,
Yeah, that's 606, just 06.
okay, so
So should I ask for another motion with the amendment, or
We have to
we've already
amend the
seconded it,
motion.
so.
You have to amend the motion, so it wasn't voted on, another amendment can be
Okay.
made.
So I'm entertaining a motion with the amendment, the 61064. Counselor Dukes?
I move that the city council authorizes the mayor to sign the settlement agreement with Middlebrook LLC regarding litigation case number 24CV61064.
Excellent. Have a second?
Point of order.
Counselor
I'm
Holt?
sorry. We have to do it
I think
correctly.
I have to do it on.
No, it can be amended, but you need to say the motion to amend
Okay.
before you say that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Hit it again, Counselor Dukes.
I like to make a motion to amend and move to
There you go.
that the city council authorizes the mayor to sign the settlement agreement with Middlebrook LLC regarding litigation case number 24CV61064.
Okay. Second? Counselor Moore seconds it. Any further discussion? Any more point of orders? That amendment should be good, right? I feel like
Not
I-
really, but we needed to make sure that it's clear that we're amending the language of the first motion and we're not.
Yes,
Yes.
the final motion is to amend the motion with the new
Okay.
case number.
We're voting
Case
on the
number.
amendment.
We're voting on the
Yes.
amendment.
And you voted on the amendment, which kills
Counselor
the
Morris just seconded.
motion.
Okay.
Okay, all right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
My apologies for the confusion with that typo.
The other motion dies now, right?
Other motion should
Thank
be
you.
dead. And Counselor Kent, good catch. All right, move on to 6C.
Going to ask Fabian to come up. Should there be any further discussion of the agenda item?
Sorry about that. Hello. In front of me today is the agenda item for the North Mill Street Wetland Plan, along with a memo with a map in the back and the letter of support for the grant. This is just the same grant proposal that was talked about during the last work session. Are there any additional questions, comments, or concerns?
I got a few. Anybody else? All right. I wasn't at that work session, so, and I know I've spoken with Vincent a little bit on this. Have we chosen or selected someone with property that is already ready to build? Or is this grant just to open up that door? Because it seems to me like that we had somebody picked for that property already.
Yeah, there currently isn't an official, there hasn't been any plans that have been submitted to the city.
Okay.
You've just had a preliminary talk with the developers.
Okay, perfect.
And just the property owners.
Okay, that's perfect. Are we taking applications right now for the urban growth boundary?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor, this is a separate grant.
Okay.
So while it does have the urban growth boundary name, this is.
That's why it's a little unclear to me, so I want to make sure that I'm getting the right questions, because I'm fielding a lot of questions right now. Vincent's,
Yeah.
I've been on the phone with him quite a bit about this.
So we started receiving applications for the urban growth boundary expansion.
Okay.
And I think we may have a meeting or two set up with some of the applicants to come in and talk about all of the regulations from the state, the submission requirements. To refresh the council memory, this is a urban growth expansion allowance that is really motivated for housing.
Okay.
So there's very specific criteria from a housing standpoint that the applicant has to meet. So we're in the process of fielding a lot of those questions, but we have received, I think to date, at least one application that came in that we're reviewing. Fabian is speaking to a wetland boundary delineation grant.
This is more,
For a
okay.
property that's within the urban growth boundary, but that has been stalled from a development standpoint.
Because of the wetlands.
Because of the wetlands. So this grant will
to
allow
mitigate-
that process to take place with the hope of initiating development.
Totally separate than?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Other than it's related
I was
to pushing
confused.
housing.
Okay, I was confused. It seemed like somebody had read the agenda and asked some questions about this, so I was like, wait a second. Okay, so it's completely separate. That makes a lot more sense. So, anyone else got any questions? All right. Then I'd be entertaining a motion on page 40. Counselor Steele.
I move that the city council authorize the mayor to sign a letter of support for the North Mill Street Wetlands Plan.
Do I have a second? Counselor Kent seconds it. Any further discussion? Counselor Holt?
Is this the property that's back behind, where's North Mill? Is it behind a manufactured home park?
So this property is in between Creswell Court and between Camas Mobile Home Park.
So this
it's-
would allow them to mitigate those wetlands, like try to fill them or something? Because that property's underwater like all year, like 3/4 of that property.
This would lead to basically just figuring out what can be done with this property. So it will lead to an effective plan that will figure out whether or not these wetlands can be delineated and what paths can be made to move forward for future development.
So the grant literally is just to find out if we can do it?
It's to figure out what potential development can be done within the property and what can be helped, how it can be helped, essentially.
It's a grant to give us an opportunity to see if we can mitigate the wetlands and move the water somewhere else. And then eventually put homes on it.
Correct.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Or Councilor Dukes?
The question I have, so what is the access to that property then?
It's 99. It should be,
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, but I was just kind of curious, is that on somebody's property that they're asking for some of this? Or is it just that the city of Creswell is asking for this?
I'm sorry.
Because it looks like it comes in on that property right there. And are they asking for you to get this grant for them, in particular, the landowner? Or is it the city of Creswell that's asking for the grant?
The city of Creswell is asking for the grant, essentially, to just kind of help in just figuring out the wetlands, essentially.
Who owns that property?
I'd have to find the specifics, but I believe it's, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it is a developer, I believe, within the city.
Councilor Holt?
Isn't it up to the property owner to do their own due diligence?
So the purpose of the grant is to look at, again, this is motivated from looking to get housing out and increase the housing stock. So the state is pushing this type of grant to look at what lots or parcels or land areas have potential but have been stalled and have not been developed. In this case, it was identified as the wetlands and the cost of doing a wetland delineation for the developer that proved to be the obstacle. So I think there were conversations between the developer and the city to go over the submission of the grant. Is that correct, Fabian?
Yes, that's correct.
Anybody else? Or is everybody satisfied with the answer? Okay. I'm entertaining a motion. You read the motion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a second? Councilor Ken seconds it. All right. So we had further discussion. Any more further discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
No, I was a no.
No? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that again. So for clarification, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed. Councilor Holt opposed it. Motion passes. All right, and that will conclude this meeting. Please review the city website. Hit the calendar button at the top tab of the banner so you know when and where we're going to be the next time. Thank you.